What's up, guys? Welcome back to a new Daamen live stream, and I'm very excited. I last week we had Andrew Azera, and for some reason I'm hooked up in Andrew Azera's network. So I got Robin Fett today, and he's hanging on the other side. So let's go into Zoom. There he is. Hey, man.
Hey, Camiel.
Hey.
How's it going?
Yeah, long time no speak.
Liar.
Yeah, man. Glad to have you.
Very nice to be here.
Yeah,
to be on.
From now on, we have to speak. We have to speak English. So we're gonna be just two Dutch guys speaking English, which is I always feel a bit weird.
With a heavy Dutch accent on the English. Yeah, nice.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, but
you had enough Dutch guys on here, so
yeah,
you're used to it.
You're actually in the studio of the other two Dutch guys, no? And you're sharing the studio with Kreuziger.
Yeah, that's right. I believe they were on like a year ago on the show, right?
I think so. I think they've also been back. They've been there twice.
Nice.
Always having a cigarette, like just hanging out.
I know. No.
Yeah. You must know. Yeah, we talked about.
I just stick with the coffee and the water.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
It's a lot healthier, man. Me and Ari had like the studio across from you guys in the hall, and Ari actually told me about you. Therefore, I already knew you before I asked you to come on the show, because Ari told me, there's this other guy, Robin. He's making some amazing music, next door. And I remember that I went to the Kreuziger guys, and they were like smoking so many cigarettes, man. I was like, how do you guys manage here? So
we have an air purifier in here, so everything's fine.
Yeah, so it's good. So it will solve itself. Yeah, and you can already get you. It's good to listen to your music already, like sort of in nightlife vibe, with smoking.
Oh yeah, I mean, we don't have any windows here, and we don't have any neighbors, so that's actually perfect.
Yeah.
You just blast into the night, and when you get out, like it's completely dark often because you completely lose track of time. So that's good.
That's good to get lost in the music for sure, man.
Yeah.
So we got lots of people online. We got Joost, always the first to comment. We got Luke Everett, nice. We got Luis from Mexico, very nice. We got Mac, he says, let's go. Perfect. Daniel Ribeiro, perfect. He's here. Low House is here. We got loads of people here. Robin the Legend says tunes only. you're a legend. And Justin Nouval, super nice. Yeah, he loves your label. It's neat, right?
Yeah, neat music.
How's it going? Yeah, I was wanted to ask you, like, what are you still doing stuff with this? Is it?
Yeah, no, definitely. Actually, I'm doing that with a good friend of mine, Tim, and we're really invested in it. It goes really well. We started it, I think, 2 years ago now, and yeah, actually everything went pretty well. From early on, we had some really nice artists, obviously also from my network and from my friends Tim's network.
Yeah,
Andrew, who was here last time.
Yeah,
on there, and this year we have a feeling it's finally taking off. Also with the bigger artists that are on there. We have Creature on the next label, cool. Or on the next release.
Yeah.
I'm actually the next EP. We have Yaya, we have other artists on there, which is nice.
Nice, yeah. So keep an eye on it. Do you accept demos? Are people able to send demos to Need?
Yes, of course, course. Yeah, if people want to send demos, always nice. So I can always send it to robin@needmusic.nl, and we'll get back to you in a couple of days. Super always nice to hear new music.
Yeah, man, you might just find some really, really good stuff. There's lots of people watching this stuff, so it's nice that they, and I know how it is for people looking for labels, but they don't know if they should send, and they're always doubting. I always say, like, just send. Just make sure it fits the label and go for it. Yeah.
But that goes for every label. That also goes for my music, and I'm sure you had the same thing. Like you feel when it's right, when it's ready to go out, and if it fits the label.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've sent lots of stuff out without it being ready, man. I regret lots of moves I made, but it's you know it, and it's always good to see where you stand. If you don't hear anything, also where you stand. But if you hear like, hey, we like it, but maybe it should be more like this, or we like this release that you did, maybe you can make something more like this. There's always like every label has its idea. There's an A&R sitting. He might have had a bad day, or he might have had a really good day. You never know, So
Definitely.
it's you never know. Just send out your music. That's what I always say.
That's
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you. And also, whenever I get demos, I'm like, it's just not just right, or not just exactly what we want to release.
Yeah.
So we're always giving feedback as well. Like, maybe if there's a bit more in this direction, a bit more rolling, or maybe a bit deeper.
Yeah.
We always try to give feedback as well. So
and it's motivating.
Send it on.
It's motivating if an A&R says, we like this one, maybe you can make a bit more like in the similar style, or or something more driving, whatever. It's good to get some feedback, so that's really nice. Yeah,
definitely.
So Andres is here too, Mr. Shockwave. Thanks for tuning in again. It's nice. We get loads of people. Cool. So, and what's cooking further? You have a regular job, you have a pretty interesting job actually. So how do you work with that next to the music? Do you find a lot of time, or do you need to schedule your studio sessions a lot? How does that go? And
obviously I have to schedule studio time. I have a job next to it, but fortunately it's very flexible. So I'm really flexible with my own time. So whenever I feel like I feel really inspired today, I can just go into the studio and work on my other work, like my day job on other time, on my own time. So it can be hard. So you have certain periods of time where it's really busy with the job, and there's less time for music. But then I always feel like it's also nice not to go to the studio, but be on the couch at home with your headphones on, and have the laptop on your lap, maybe some bad series on the background, just to have some background noise going on.
Visuals going on,
it's funny actually. That's where most of the ideas start, for me at least. Then whenever I feel like I'm feeling this, or I really want to finish it, then I go into the studio and mix it down and make pre-master and work further on. So
so it's not like I have to go to the studio, I need to sit in the studio to make music. It can just be basically a session on the couch, which is pretty good, because I do think there's a valid point to just be relaxed and sit in your own habitat on your couch with your laptop, just fooling around, because that's where I think the cool ideas come from you just exploring some new synth, or just fooling around with some loops that you really like, and suddenly you're making a super nice track,
That's so nice when you have that feeling when you're on the couch and you're not expecting much, that's what I had a couple of times, and then you find this certain sound or this certain loop, like you said, and then you get all hyped, and then that's most of the time when I go to the studio the same night, because I want to work on it for the next day.
I
get into that hype.
Similar thing when I was by my parents. They live in Ruurlo. You probably don't, I don't know if you know.
Never heard.
Everybody goes Ruurlo. What's Ruurlo? Well, it's a city in Holland, or like a village, in aldea, they say in Spanish. And I was sitting there on the table at the kitchen, and my parents were out for a walk, and I was like, I'll make an idea, and I had this sample, and I created this loop with this old school vocal, and I was like sitting like this in my parents' house, in like a village. So it could be really interesting. You can get really excited, just sitting in a place where you normally don't make music, which is nice.
But then it's a really good track if you hit your hands up in the air, like when you were alone.
Yeah, exactly. Then you're like, taking the low end out and putting it back in. It's super nice. So but it's nice. I'm really excited to have you on, because I love your music, because the moment that Ari told me, like, hey man, we have this neighbor, he makes amazing music, I've been checking out some of your work, and since then you've been releasing quite a lot, like on Render, on Inermu, Votre, together with Andrew, I think. And
that's right.
And it's
Moan,
just
we didn't need
Moan also. Moan used to be like a pretty tech house label back in the day. I remember that when I did like Circle, and I did something with Ono In Motion, and then Moan was also on the list to send something, but it was more tech housey back then, and now they also are.
Circle was also a really good label. I really liked that back in. I don't know when it was, but it was from the US, I believe, right?
From the US, I met, what was his name? I met him in Ibiza once, and I was there for a month, and I met this guy, and I don't know, I just sent him some demos afterwards, and then got to Circle. I think I did 2 EPs there or so, or a remix and EP, something like this. But really, that's then we're talking about 8 years ago or something. Man, I don't think they exist anymore. At some point, they stopped.
No,
Yeah,
they stopped.
Yeah,
I checked them out. I was really excited to hear if they had new releases, but
it's too bad. It's a legendary one of the labels that that I really liked back in the day. But there are so many labels that came and go. Every time the sort of sound changes a bit, there's a lot of labels stopping and new ones coming. You know, we all get older, so some people, they get married and get kids and get a serious job, and some people just
it is a serious job, huh?
I think it's a serious job, but for some people, they change their I don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I think it's a serious job, at least.
Okay.
Definitely. I'm still at it. Yeah. So let's listen to some music. I think it's nice to always start a little bit with music. So let's start with the Closer one, which is the first one we're gonna dissect today. So Closer and Ferris, the one on Inermo and the one on Render, and you work in Logic, so I'm excited to see how this works. Let's do Closer, and we'll be right back.
Nice.
Leuk.
Even kijken.
Super nice tune. All right. I really enjoyed. Too bad I can't hear it now, but I've listened to it today when I was making the preset and closers. Really nice, and I'm looking forward to see how it works or how it's been done. I see we got the whole Dublin crew here. We got Dan, Danny is here. We got Andrew is here, so it's nice. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Super nice. Mahar is also here. It's I think. Are you also from Dublin? No, Mahar. I think it's the same guy. It's nice. We got the whole. Andrew says, Robin, how do you cut your snare?
Very short. Very short.
Very short.
Yeah.
Mahar is Montreal. Okay, cool. Nice. Let's dig in, man. Shall I just give you you can just go through and maybe show us, because I see bass 1.1, 2.1, which is nice. I'm interested. And I see a lot of snares, a lot of hats, a lot of perk. So yeah,
really short snares, as Andrew knows. No, yeah, definitely. I can just walk through it and basically walk through how my projects all look, because it's basically all the same. I made this this template, like I've been tweaking it for I think 2 years now, which really works for me, which is nice because I really like order and having a clear overview of everything that I put in the project.
Likewise. Yeah.
So I have my different groups, which I can easily stack. This is nice for mixing as well. It's just my kick, my bass, snare, hi-hats, percussion, and synth, all with all the processing already on there. So, for example, I have my kick, which is just a sample from, I think it's let's see,
VMH.
I think it's from what's the E.O. Mullen's sample pack.
Cool.
Which is nice.
It's just like a 909 based sort of kick, very short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and on the left here, we have all the routing already on there. You can hear like the parallel compression is standard on everything. So whenever you take it off, it already sounds a lot thinner. So that's something that really helped me.
Yeah.
Working quickly. It's immediately more in your face out of the speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's actually how I start every track. I'm really always kick and bass and then work on top.
Like James Dexter said exactly the same. Like kick and bass need to work, otherwise it doesn't make sense. Interesting.
No.
Yeah.
No, true. Yeah, so that's I agree. He also works in Logic, right? So maybe that's just a Logic though.
Yeah, I think was he Logic? I can't remember.
Yes.
Wow.
No, so yeah, actually on this one.
Hey Fabian, good you're here.
Nice.
Yeah.
I always try to work with different basses. So a bit of call and response. So let's see, because I made this track a while ago, so I don't know everything by head. This is actually a synth or bass sound that I also used in Ferris in the other track that that we're gonna dissect later.
Yeah.
But it's a really weird synth. I actually got this from Shaq, which is the guy from Polar.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did some tracks together with him, huh? I've listened to those as well.
Nice. Yeah, we have some tracks on the shelf as well, like looking what we're gonna do with it.
Nice. And there's more Robin Fett coming. And what's this for wavetable synth? Is it from Codex? It's from Waves.
It's from Waves.
Yeah.
It's a really I didn't even know that I had it. I had the whole Wave spec, and Zach told me like, hey, you should check this out because it's actually a really nice synth.
Yeah.
Or a really nice bass sound with some like harmonics on top and pretty good sub bass as well.
It's a nice
so I used it in quite a lot of tracks, which is nice. And
Codex, yeah, man. Waves always has like this hidden sort of like plug-in somewhere. Ooh.
But they're all really pearls. Like they're nice.
Yeah.
I really like Waves. I use it a lot, as you can see it on here as well. Like the Renaissance compressors, Max Bass.
And this is also what you told me earlier today when we did the test. You said like, yeah, I really need to put like Andrew didn't do any processing. I do as much as I can because I really feel that doing this little dip just makes it work. So it's like, I'm funny. I have the same. It depends on my mood, but I like to just also process shit because it's just fun to use all these plugins as well, man. Like, and the max bass and the R compressor and the one up. Why not? You know, it's free.
Yeah, exactly. It's and I don't know if it's just a mental placebo thing, but it makes a difference for me. And Andrew hates me for it whenever we work on tracks together.
Yeah,
as he maybe confirm.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this is actually for the bass. This is a kind of chain that I use always because I like my basses pretty heavily compressed. I use a Renaissance compressor by Waves, which I always use a bass guitar compressor first, like
Cool.
pretty long attack. It's
Yeah.
pretty heavily compressed, and then put a max bass on
Yeah,
it.
I love this one.
And it's a plugin which gives you more harmonics and more body on your bass. So I always use the medium or the light setting, and then you can always adjust it a bit. And I don't know, it really makes a difference, especially when you do it like after the compressed sound. But sometimes it does get a little bit like, what is it? Not pretty, but there's more dynamics in it. So I put a heavy. Oh, this is actually a lot more heavy compressor than I expected, but just a normal compressor on it with a really short attack. So I don't know.
To
just
tame those
fit
harmonics.
the track.
Yeah.
And then the one knob is just an alternative for sidechain.
Oh, yeah,
I
bumper.
actually never sidechain anymore because I'm really lazy with this, and it really works. It's got all the space. So and I did the same with the second bass. Is this stuff? You can see it's the same chain on here.
Yeah.
And the subroom I also have like a couple of
Look at all those favorites. The desert
I have
ones.
a lot of favorites.
I don't have the desert ones in there. I have a lot of other ones. The classic ones. Interesting.
I also have some other ones favorited as well.
Yeah.
But this is for me the desert ones. I think it's in 90% of my tracks.
So cool. So cool.
It really works.
Yeah.
I really like it. And they have some nice harmonics on top as well. So it's not too stubby, that you have like this sine subwave. So that's I don't know which key is it. It's in an F. You're good at this, right, Camiel?
Well, it looks like an F. Could be a C, but F and C are very connected, I believe. So I'm also not a magician, man. But I've recently been trying to do more by ear instead of just working now because it's fucking. I get crazy from it. Like, okay, is it like And then I'm just like getting a sample. I try to tune it myself, and I don't even want to check it anymore. I just want to put it in and just fully trust my ears because I think that's. I really want to like get better at this by just tuning it however it sounds instead of just analyzing it and trying to explain it. I don't know how you are with this, but I'm trying a different way. Took me 40 years.
Okay, well, I have a couple of years to go then, but no, I do know what you mean. I'm actually really jealous of the Ableton Live users with the push. When you can just select the scale.
Yeah.
You have certain functions as well in Logic, but I just don't use it. So it's mostly by ear with just a little bit of theoretical of music theory knowledge.
Yeah, it's a cool tool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man, you can always make the transfer. You can always, I can help you. We do some private lessons, and I'll help you through Ableton.
I'll keep that in mind, but I don't think I will.
No. Once you're so accustomed to Logic, it's hard, man. Yeah. It will. Yeah. It will take you a few months to get really into the new software, but Hey,
I think it's been 10 years.
We have a question. Let's do some questions in between, which is nice. Or you will get there actually because it's about the synths, and I saw you have synths. So let's just continue normally, and we'll get to the synths. So Kane Zunder or Kane, I don't know, Kane Zunder. I think that's it. We'll get back to your question. You'll see the synths coming by. So hang on, my friend.
Definitely. I will just walk through it. Yeah, the whole claps and snares. it's not really interesting, pretty straightforward. Also processing, it's not really exciting, just some EQing. I have my clap rooms, hi-hat rooms already in my template, so I can just turn it up. I know it's mostly around 20, that it just fits the mix nicely.
Yeah.
And it's I use a Valhalla verb for it.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy there.
Hey, can we just quickly quickly go to the bass, because somebody wants to hear the difference between bass 2 and bass 2.1 and both combined. What's the
Let's see. Because I have to check as well.
Yeah, that's good.
I think it's that the bass 2.1 is here. I layered them, so if you have the bass 2, it's more the overtones. Yeah, and the bass 2.1 is just sub.
Yeah. Nice.
So it's just the low end.
Yeah, adding more. So it's sort of like getting faders to tune. You can put like bass 2.1 a bit louder if you want to have some more low end, and 2 a bit more if you want to boost the high end, sort of.
Yeah. I can remember I felt that I like the bass or the sound on 2 because it's really noticeable also in the low mids, but it just lacked some sub. So you can also I also
really
turn down the sub on it's like.
Hey, and is it then the same? Is it also an octave lower or something, or is it just processing?
This one is in C1, and this one, it's not an octave lower. It's just processing. So, which I really like on Subboom, because it's either the codecs or the Subboom that I use for my basses.
Yeah.
Is whenever you get the desert presets.
Yeah.
To just turn on the second oscillator as well, because I think normally the Desert 2 is just a triangle wave.
Yeah, and then you add the sine on the bottom.
Yeah, and the sine was just to give it some body. And also, which is really nice, which I recently use a lot. I hear it's also both on sine, but they're pitched, so get some more harmonics. And I saw the half sine. It's also a really nice view on the more like old school house bass, especially if you put it on oscillator 1.
Yeah, cool.
So
nice tip here. Justin says that's a money tip, Robin. Thanks for that.
Nice one.
Very nice.
I hope it helps. Yeah, so it's nothing too crazy actually, and just the call and responses. I think what makes it interesting, especially when you use 2 different bass sounds. So the codecs on bass 1.
Yeah, it needs to be. It needs to be dialogue, like us two. We are like bass lines.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, me too, man. It's all about the communication between the sounds. That just works really well.
Yeah. So let's just see whatever. I think the heads group. It's just a couple of loops. This is the stoner loop. I have no clue where that comes from. It looks like it's from the same pack as the kick, the IO Milan pack.
Nice.
And some swing heads, which I believe I got from my TR-8S, which is the only hardware that I have on the side. All the other sounds I just used from the box.
Yeah.
And just another hi-hat, which I made a bit shorter with an enveloper. Oh yeah, which I believe I modulated it in the track.
Yeah, I can hear it get longer and shorter. Yeah.
Yeah, here it's this one, so it's short.
Yeah.
And in the breaks it gets shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
Which really makes it interesting, because the whole track it's not that much is happening. So
so do you tend to use automation a lot to keep the track interesting, like automating slightly on hi-hat, slightly on bass, maybe just the filter or something,
Yeah, I think it's really really important to automate it, because it can really make the difference if the track feels static or maybe not. Also on the clap, I don't use it in this track, but in a lot of tracks actually on the clap room, I put so that's only the reverb
Yeah.
sound, and then I put waves, of course, a meta flanger on it.
Oh, I love the meta flanger.
And if you put it on Mutron biphase, it's really this broad kind of or fuck that sound. If you turn the mix down and just do it on the reverb channel, it kind of gives this weird atmosphere, which I use on the last tracks a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of tracks I hear they use a little like chorus on their hi-hat group, you know. It's actually or on their drum group, so you get sort of like this little phasey kind of percussion going on, which is interesting, which is actually used in a lot of tracks, I think, these days. A lot of these sort of flangey kind of stuff. Yeah.
Definitely. I didn't invent it. I don't know where, but I stole it or the idea from somebody else.
Yeah, of course. We all inspire each other. Yeah.
That's a better way to put it.
So Nolan is a big fan. That's nice. He loves the Enamel release. Me too. We just played it, so that's nice. And we're working on it actually. And EO3. We're gonna get to the pads and the synths in a bit. Let's go first over the percussion. The synths are all at the bottom, so we'll get there.
Yeah. Save the best for last. Well, I can go through the percussion pretty quickly. Yeah. It's just cut up loops that I merged and look at the gaps in the other loops, so it complements each other.
Same like the bass, the call and response.
Yeah, I think that's always if you get in the beginning of the track when you're building, if you get the call and response right. So I always feel you don't really need that much ingredient, that much elements to make it interesting. That's when you know, like when it's gonna work nice. So yeah, and a really nice Trommer groove loop. I use that in every track as well.
Yeah,
and I have my noise, which is just a white noise.
Cool.
Nothing.
I have that really soft in the mix.
Yeah, I always put it under it. I don't know if anybody hears it, if it makes a difference, but I can sleep nicely at night using it.
You can also put it on when you go to bed. You go sweet dreams about the bass lines.
White noise.
Hey Greg, welcome man. No worries you're late. It's also going to be online later on, so that's fine. Yeah, the white noise thing. I remember I back in the tech house days, I was listening to a lot of Camiel and Liebe. I should actually ask him to come on the show once. Camiel and Liebe, you know, the old school remote area guys. And I remember I listened to one of his tracks and I was hearing this noise. And then I listened to some other tracks like, hey, I think they just put noise in there. And then sidechain it or flanger it. So there's a little sort of like something that glues everything together. I think this noise in the track's really nice, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it can make a big difference. Like also I have a feeling that it really works for the stereo image as well. I actually put a imager on here. Widener on here. I don't know if it does anything, but
it looks pretty wide to me. I like the C1. This is S1, is it? Yeah.
The S1, yeah.
For a long time.
It's barely noticeable, but anyway, nice for the idea.
Yeah.
Just some really standard effects here.
You call it perk.
I always put my FX in my perk group.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just a habit. And whenever I like on all the groups, I also put some slight compression most of the time. And on the hi-hats, I put some a de-esser from Fett filter on there.
Oh yeah, de-esser from Oh, I'm gonna write that one down. I've never used the de-esser from Fett filter. Is it any good?
It's really nice, especially when you open it. It's on the standard, on the default setting.
Yeah.
And then if you just tap one to the right, you have the high-end transient limiter. And if you put it on your heads bus and just slightly, just so you get like up to maybe 2 dB reduction.
Yeah.
Really, it's almost like a glue in your hi-hats. So that really works.
Transient. This is like golden tips here.
Nice.
Perfect. I use the Waves de-esser usually, but it doesn't have the doesn't have a lot of presets, and I
No.
also use that on vocals, but it's nice to use on heads because it makes your heads a bit more gentle. It takes away those
Harsh.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a harsh
presets,
frequency. So that really helps. And yeah, I don't know, it just flows. And then especially, which I also use like on both on the groups as on all the stems, I use the Ozone vintage tape with the tape saturation.
Cool.
Just some saturation on there to give it back some character, especially when you de-acid. You can also get rid of some frequencies that you actually want to keep. So,
also like saturating your hi-hats. I use the D16 group, the Redopter, which is really nice, and it also like cuts a little bit of the high, so you get a bit more instead of which is nice. I think there's a lot of ways, but it's interesting. I'm definitely gonna check this the Esser from
nice.
filter. I've got the whole bundle, so I should actually. I never used it. That's so weird.
No,
no.
I don't know. I normally I would go to Waves, as you know, but this one really works. It really works really easily and quick as well.
It's the Dutch. It's the Dutch pride, man.
Yeah. Fett filters from Haarlem.
World-renowned EQ Dutch brand, Yeah.
But that's funny what you said as well with the high end. I actually cut all my high ends off around 16,000 hertz.
Yeah, me too.
I have no highs above that.
Yeah, we don't even hear it. I don't even hear it because I'm like I'm turning 40 in 2 months, so I don't hear anything above 16K, and most people that have had a pretty good nightlife experience probably don't hear it either, so when you get born, I think you hear till 20K, but every 10 years you lose a K. So
but also a lot of sound engineers when you play a club and you see the EQ they have, I mean, sometimes everything under 20 is gone already from the sound engineers, and I don't know. You don't need it.
You don't need it. No, you get actually a lot more punch if you get rid of everything under 30. If you take an 808 and you low cut it at 30 hertz, it actually becomes way more punchy than if you leave that stuff in. So it does work, but it is sort of like audiophiles, nitty gritty kind of, let's put a little dip here and a little dip there, where an Andrew or a Joko would say, no man, just make nice music.
Okay, I'm really jealous of that.
Me too, man.
As well, but I can't work that way.
I also love to nerd around about it, just like using these plugins, I bought them anyway, so all right.
It's nice to have them.
Exactly. Well, we get to the synths. So people pay attention. We're gonna get to the synths and the pads.
I hope it doesn't disappoint. Nothing crazy here going on either. Anyway, we have the. It's pretty low. Maybe I automated it. I think so. Here you have the pad, which is just a synth, but let's see what I did. I filtered it, made it a bit broader. But this is one that I use every track. It's a Logic only, like a Logic native synth. I use it just for the reverb here. But you have a really nice modulator with the filter cut up.
Cool.
So I used to use what is the Filter Freak? From Sound Toys, which is really nice as well.
Yeah.
But this one is a bit more random, and also with the distortion and the delay.
Yeah, and it's a step modulator, so you can have every step differently filtered, for instance, or so. That's nice.
Yeah. We'll get to the other synths as well because I use it on that as well. And then they have some nice presets that if you tweak it a little bit, it gives it really unique sound.
Yeah, cool.
Let's see what's underneath. That is the stab. Let's see.
But it was from top loop.
It is a top loop.
Yeah.
I don't know from what, but I use the step FX on here as well. You can see the cutoff filter just going up and down with some delay, with some reverb on it, a plate verb.
Yeah, Nolan is asking similar to Tantra. Yeah, it is definitely, because it's a step modulator, so it's just LFOing stuff in steps, which is very similar to Tantra, I think. Yeah.
I just feel that the tantra is a bit overused at this point. Like
Yeah,
a lot of producers use the tantra.
yeah,
You can most of the time you can hear that it's a tantra.
yeah,
That's why I just thought I'll stick to the step FX,
yeah,
and it's Logic native, so
yeah.
just to be a bit nitpicky.
Exactly. Stick to the logic. Stick to the Mac. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this, can I
Um,
ask you a question? This Abbey,
yeah.
because I see they got they both go to this bus too, where you have like the Abbey Road one on. I love the Abbey Road. I used to have it before I stopped using crack, because I haven't bought it yet. I'm gonna wait for Black Friday and buy it again.
Okay.
This is a really
It's
nice one.
it's basically I don't know how much of you can really hear it,
Yeah, it's
but
hard. Yeah,
just on my synth group, I always put the Abbey Road on, just turn down the noise and the crackle, because otherwise you get
yeah,
this kind of white noise.
yeah,
And it kind of works if you have the complete buzz. You can just see it slightly moving, and at some parts it's ducking a bit heavier.
yeah,
But yeah, it's just basically kind of compression.
yeah.
And I feel like, especially on the frequencies of synths, it really works.
Yeah, it makes it
Just
also a
do it
little bit
together.
wider, no? It's sort of a chorus
Yeah,
if you use the depth a little bit, because Ari used
yeah,
to do this as well. I got this from Ari, which is it's a really nice way to make your synths a bit more lush and wide.
nice. I where's the depth?
The depth is
Oh, here,
yeah,
this one.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you put that like open and go choo.
Oh, nice. It's
So
like
so
a kind of pitch bend as
yeah,
well.
yeah. So Ari would do it like slightly, with just like 0 point something. Then it's a little chorus effect kind of thing. It's a tape effect. It's
Cool.
really nice. Yeah.
That's one to remember. Just not on the complete group though. But
No, just yeah,
yeah,
and very slightly. It's really nice. Yeah.
yeah. Well, and then it's I just from Tijn, really cool producer as well. I just got up a loop, and I put everything in Logic's uh, quantize swing. I
Yeah.
use the 1/16 swing D a lot,
Yeah.
also on this track. So you see that it's a bit flexed.
Yeah.
So the placement is different.
Yeah.
Also the same on the bass line, and a lot in the perk as well. I
Yeah.
quantized it. Yeah, just got it up. It's the same. Like you have the synths, and you can see that the loop is only playing when the other elements are not playing,
Yeah.
just to fill it up.
Yeah. Very nice.
Then we have just oh well, it's basically a complete synth. I don't know at this point if I cut it up or not. It looks like it. And then again, I have my some delay on it and a bit of reverb that actually gives the whole vibe a bit.
Yeah.
Then we have some tiny little FX,
Yeah.
also with the step FX on it. Some modular things, also with the step FX on it. And I don't know from which track. What's this? This is. I got this from apparently from a vinyl record.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know which one this is, but I only got the mid frequencies here.
Yeah. Just to give it like, yeah, it's nice. It's
Yeah.
these little details that make it.
Yeah, it's just on there.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for the little details and just a bit of atmosphere in it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well done.
But,
Well
thanks.
done. Yeah.
and furthermore, it's I don't. That's just a texture.
Yeah.
So that got that. And here, I don't know what this is. That's also just FX
Is it-
and a Joko loop.
It's not a. It's Joko. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really in the background.
It's a Nordleeds Joko loop. Joko, if you're watching, thanks for the loops, man.
Thanks for
Thanks for
the
the loops.
for the gold,
Yeah,
Joko.
yeah,
Definitely.
Exactly.
The synths from him are great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so that's basically all there is to it. It's
Yeah.
I think
That's a
as I said before, the modulation is
Yeah.
really helping. And one thing that really helps with all my tracks now is on the master chain. I always use the the Pro Q just to mono everything underneath 130
Yeah.
hertz.
Yeah.
And I use a Magic Q also. I put a reference track in there.
Oh, nice.
Can be anything, and most of the time I'm pretty close.
The
Well, here
Magic
it's
Cube
just a-
Logic is really good. It's wow, it even looks better than a friend of mine used to always tell me about. Yeah, I use Magic Cube, man, on Logic. That's like 8 years ago, and they were one of the first to have this, which is really, really nice. Built in,
Yes.
yeah.
It's basically a snapshot of snapshot of another track that you like,
Yeah.
and just fade the extremes always a bit, because in the high end and in the lows it can get out of hand a little bit, and just smooth it out.
Yeah,
because otherwise it's
Fab
like
filter
this.
does the same. Yeah, you want to have it a bit
Yeah.
smooth, but it's nice because it can accentuate or just get it closer to the real deal. Like whatever the deal is that you have as a reference track. Yeah.
And this is a must have. I feel like this got my productions like definitely to level up. It's another Waves plugin, the ARTG mastering chain. I think it's ARTG mastering.
Okay, writing this down. And why is it? Is it the high end? Is it what is it?
I put it on the master channel just before the compression and limiting. But I actually don't do anything with it. I just turn the spreader like on +2, and I don't know what it does, but it kind of glues the complete track together and gives it a bit of depth.
Yeah.
Almost instead of spreading. So I don't know if you can hear it, but
yeah, it's hard because we're going through Zoom.
Yeah. And in the studio, it's really the difference between having like all your elements like almost harshly get into your face, and some elements like getting more to the background, but in a good way. So this is something I can recommend to everybody. Like, get this mastering chain.
Nice.
Just put it on +2, and believe me, when you listen on headphones, you will hear the difference.
I'm gonna definitely test it out. I used to like the NLS from Waves on my master. I haven't done it for a long time. Now I'm back to the PSP Vintage Warmer. There's so much
which is
stuff.
really nice as well.
Yeah, it's the one. I have this plugin since 2004, man. It's literally one of the first VSTs that was ever made. It's crazy. The PSP Vintage Warmer. But this is also really nice. The ARTG. Yeah, man, the Waves is there's always shit you don't know. There's a whole list, and then you're like, oh, is this also in the Waves? You see you're making music with somebody else, and they pop up some Waves plugin that you've never seen before, but apparently you have already for a decade. It's really funny.
Exactly. yeah. It's like this little surprise.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So let's see. Yeah, Ray Charles. We got Ray Charles watching.
Oh,
that's funny. How can Ray Charles be watching? That's interesting. But he has a good question. What plugins do you use in the Synth and Returns? I wanted to ask you if we can also go over the synths that you use, because you have quite a lot going on the mixer side of things.
Yeah. Can you guys see the mixer now? Or
no, we still see the arrangement. Maybe.
Okay. I probably just shared the
like only one. You can go to Zoom and click on New Share and then share desktop.
Boom, desktop one.
There you go.
Okay, can you see my desktop now?
Now we see your desktop with your dock, and then probably if you now go to the mixer.
Boom.
Yeah, there we go. Look at this guy.
Yeah. So this is the Synths. So, well, first you have all the kicks and all my elements that we just walked through. And then we get to everything that's in the template that I have.
Yeah.
So here we have the clap room, and as I said, it's just a Valhalla vintage verb on the chamber. Pretty, It's let's see if I can play the claps, and I actually put my snares in there as well, because why not?
Yeah, exactly.
It's really subtle, but I feel like all the 5% differences, add up.
Yeah.
Then we have the SSL drum compressor, which is a parallel compression.
I use this guy. Yeah.
It's I think I produced this on a pretty low volume, so it's not even actually compressing, but just doing some makeup.
Yeah, some coloring. It's just these SSLs are pretty cool.
But most of the time I try to get it like to just slightly move. But this is a big difference on your drum. This is without.
Yeah,
it does
gets
sound
punchier.
more chunky
Yeah.
immediately. Then we have an SSL bass, which I don't use anymore. Or, oh no, I do actually. It's just a different attack and release settings, I believe. This is a nice little glue on there. And the same for the synths. I do think this is just the same setting.
Yeah, but it's nice to just send something there just to get some more volume also. Like it's nice to have these parallel chains and add some volume, or if you need it, you know, add some and also slightly sort of colored kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So and then I have a different setting for my clap room, which is also already in the template. So yeah, it's nothing special.
Yeah, just like the reverbs and some parallel compression. Yeah. Do you have parallel distortion as well?
No, I don't have parallel distortion, but I saturate pretty heavily on the buses already. So I feel like I don't.
Yeah, you don't need parallel. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's many ways to roam, I always say.
And then well, the same SSL on the perk group.
Yeah.
And I used to use some reverb FX and delay FX, which had a pretty heavy Valhalla vintage reverb as well. And then I could just automate the volume, especially in breaks, to get it up a bit more, to make it a bit broader. And then whenever the drop comes, you turn the volume down.
Well, you just answered the question. Do you have any special way to structure a build up and drop to get a strong drop? Well, this might be it. Send something to a really big verb to add it in. Yeah.
And on the bass, I do have an amp, some distortion, which is a Logic Crunch cap. This is for the slight distortion, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so I lied to you. I do use some distortion as well on my
parallel
bass.
Distortion, parallel cabinet. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So and for the build up, I use the reverb, but it's also need to be pretty careful with that to not get it too gloomy, drowning in reverb.
Yeah.
I feel like the really easy build-ups are working the best. So here I just put my complete hi-hat group. I think I automated it in a filter.
Yeah.
These are this kind of small things to that it comes back up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the kick, which comes from a high pass to a bit more basic.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. It's also just structuring it more in order of sounds than in really adding lots of effects in that way. Yeah,
definitely.
Cool.
So I do feel like all my arrangements are looking the same as well. Like at 2 minutes, you get the first breakdown.
Yeah, I have my periods that I have the same. Like over the years, I've always and even if I don't think about it, it just happens, you know. But I do try to sometimes do something different. But I do have always the same colors, and you know, it's good to have a template because it's sort of like your formula to create how you sound. If you change something in the template or in the way of working, it will affect the result coming out. So if it works for you and it's nice, you know, the music you've been making is really cool. It's very versatile as well. It's not all sounding the same. So you know, it's great.
Yeah.
Hey,
which is nice.
And there's Murloc is asking, do you guys use multiple swing in one groove, swing grooves in one project, or would you put everything in the same swing groove?
I always put here as well. I believe everything is in the 16th D is my swing groove to go, and also I tend to put everything in the same swing.
Yeah, me
but then whenever I work with Andrew, he's like, no, we don't need to swing anything. It's also nice if it like kind of works together. So some like percussion not in the swing, and then bass in the swing.
Yeah, nice.
I use 1/6 swing D.
Yeah, I've also been very anal about the swing before, and I would swing my bass as well. But recently I've stopped swinging the bass, and it's like, oh, this is actually pretty nice. I have like a more straight bass and have the hi-hats more swingy. But I don't think there's one way, you know. So for Murloc, you know, if you have this question, and it's for many people, if you have a question, just try it out and decide for yourself what you like, because a lot of this stuff is not necessarily like how somebody works, that's the best way to get there. It's about you trying out different ways to get there and then deciding for yourself what you like. I think that's a very, very important thing, you know, because it's mostly a taste matter, you know. Looking at your presets in sub-boom bass that you liked, they're totally different than the ones that I like. So this whole thing is also a matter of taste, and the more you can express your taste, the better music I think you'll make, you know. And if that's using 20 swings, dude, by all means, use 20 swings, you know. So I hope that helps. So, all right.
I do feel like that a lot of when you use a heavier swing, like I do most of the time, the D, so which is like 62%, I believe, on swing.
It's funny, I use the 63 now.
I feel like if you use a less heavy swing, you tend to get a more like A side track. It's really weird. Like if you use a heavy swing, it's more like this rolling track, and I don't know. I got it from a different producer friends. Also said, okay, try to make a track with not so much swing, because then you tend to be like a more standoutish track.
Oh, that's
and it did work.
It's interesting because the session I did with Sydney Charles, he used the Logic swing as well, the 63. I used the 65 a lot, and then I went to 63. I don't know. I don't really notice if there's any change in how the track is perceived. But I now stopped using the groove pool, and I'm manually swinging again, which I used to do back in the day as well. Because it's also nice, and I feel that when I use the groove pool, everything gets the same swing, and you can't really control it, or you can commit the swing as well, so it moves the notes. But you know, just try different stuff. I just love to like try stuff, you know, different.
Also, stuff. If you, I don't know, it's you definitely have this in Ableton as well, but you have the MIDI transform here and just humanize, which I always do, and then if you just get some notes and you press it a couple of times, then it will change velocity, so the colors will change, and it will slightly change the location as well. And I think that's already gives the same result as manually swinging.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you do the velocity as well, then you have and the swing and the velocity, so that's a lot of combinations that are possible. Nice. Well, thanks for sharing this one. Maybe we should play another track. We're gonna get into Ferris, right? So maybe it's good to play Ferris, and then as the last one, we have one unreleased one as well that we can share. So let's. And Ray Charles also asked thoughts on Slate Digital. I don't think you use Slate, no?
No, I don't think so either. No, I don't have any thoughts because I don't know.
You don't have them, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Slate's like another subscription you can get. You know, I
know. I heard a lot of friends who use it, and it's quality stuff, but.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people about it. Well, Timmy P is a big fan of it, and he has these headphones as well, which is really nice. So, all right, we'll have a sip of water, and we're gonna listen to Ferris, which was out on Render, which was quite some time ago, no?
It's like 2 years at least, I think.
Nice. Go back. It's already a classic. Yeah, with the Fyrone remix, which is super nice. Also had him in the show, which is nice. Do you know Fyrone? Oh yeah, he did he do the acoustics in your
in,
room?
in our studio, yeah,
Yeah,
where I'm now.
yeah,
He actually helped with the acoustics.
so
I
cool.
It's a really talented producer as well. I really like how he gets all the live instruments like his bass guitar and everything.
Yeah, man, and he loves the processing too. I can tell you, you guys will get along
Yeah,
perfectly about having 6 processors on one channel and go totally mad about it. He
yeah,
loves that
nerd
stuff
out
too.
on the
Yeah,
process.
he did a really really good one. If people are watching, you want to get more, you want to get a really good session on mix downs as well. Then check out the Fyrone episode of Dive in Live. You know. Anyway, check out all the episodes of Dive in Live. It's so
Nice
nice,
plug.
man. I actually found out, and this is something this is really cool. I've made this loop, which I really like. It reminds me a lot about the early deep house days, and it's a loop I don't really want to touch, but I thought, okay, maybe then add a vocal. So I found this RA Exchange, the Resident Advisor Exchange podcast on Spotify. And man, it's a great way to find super cool samples. Just sample Masters at Work having an hour interview, or sample Fred P, or sample Move D, or sample Richie Houghton, whatever. They're all there having an hour interview, and you can get little snippets about what they're saying, which is really cool. So that's a really good thing to get some. You should check all these episodes as well. All right, Robin, what's the promo email? Nolan asked. I think it's the demo email he's asking for Neat. No?
Yeah, for Neat, it's robin@neatmusic.nl. That's for demos. And for promos, just because you want to share the music, it's info@robinfett.nl.
Perfect. Super nice.
Yeah, looking forward.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, send the promos. Here, Mahar says Camiel doing self promo. Of course I do. You gotta watch all the channel, all the. I even have videos. I even have a video that you guys here. Right. If I do self promo, I also have. Where is it? I'm not sure if it. Oh yeah, here. Promo lessons in live. Wait, here we get this. So guys, if we're talking about promo, you can also get sample packs and preset packs from my website. So if we're doing that anyway. Cool. All right. So Robin, what are we looking at? Ferris. 2 years ago. And you still have the project.
Sorry?
You still have the project. Lots of guys don't have the project anymore because they lose the samples and whatnot.
It was one of the first tracks I made with my new iMac, or my new MacBook. Like the 16-inch MacBook came out, and this was actually one of the first, which was good.
Nice.
Really, really fond memories of this track.
First track on the new computer, always good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Always nice. And it's in the same template actually. Basically the same template. Also kick, bass, snares, hi-hats, percussion, and then synth. Let's see, because I haven't looked in this project for a while, as you can imagine, but it's let's see. Oh, this is also a kick. I know exactly what kick this is. I use this also in like 9 out of 10 tracks. It's from Chris Stussey's sample pack.
I use these kicks a lot, man. I have them also on my template, like a few of him and a few of Sydney Charles. I love those kicks. Yeah.
It just punches through everything. Let's see. Let's go to the bass line then. For the bass, I didn't use different basses. It's just only the codecs, the same one as before.
Never change the winning bass.
Yeah, max sub bass, the resonance down a bit. Fuck around with the attack and the release until it sounds good. And it's not really a difficult bass. It's just on the black notes a lot.
Yeah,
it's nice and easy. I do remember that I had another actually a loop. Oh yeah, I think this bass line started with this loop, which is which is really complementing it.
Yeah, they work really well together.
Yeah, I just cut out the lows.
Yeah.
It's more like a tom low, but you still get the call and response in the bass. So yeah, I think that's what started this whole project off.
Really nice. Zeeken is asking, what's the name of the VST for bass? It's Codex. It's a Wave Waves plugin bass. It's a wavetable synth. I actually know it, but used it maybe once, like a few years ago. And they have more synths. They even have Wurlitzers, Rhodes are also in this wave for the full Waves bundle. They have some interesting stuff there, man. We should check out more Waves. By the way, guys, what are your favorite bass plugins? You can let's just throw in all our favorite bass plugins. Why not?
Yeah, maybe I can finally ditch the Codex then.
Yeah, let's give Robin a new one. Actually, Timmy P showed the Wolsa bass, which is nice, which has lots of presets from like artists in there, like artists that make house. It's nice. The Wolsa bass. It's Wood Productions or so, Wood something, which is nice.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting. I also really like the bass sound that Andrew showed last week, which was the Arturia.
The one on the Prophet. I have
Prophet bass.
I should have written that one down. Yeah.
Also nice. Actually, it's also the processing on this bass is I think basically the same as in the other tracks. So first a bass guitar compressor, then some max bass to give it some more harmonics, then another compressor, and this typical example of nitpicking, which probably doesn't.
Well, James would shake your hand on this. He would go like, "Yeah, a little dip around 2," because James said, "I always take a little dip around 200."
I always take a little dip around 2.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And just the one up. As a side chain.
Yeah.
It's just a volume shaper. It's really easy.
So I have a few plugins for you, Robin. It's Basile from UAE. You can check out the DX7.
Nice. I have the DX7. I actually use that now a lot for my synth.
Nice.
Well. It's really nice plugin.
You can also use it for bass apparently. And Prophet says Andrew, and Nolan says Sudboom bass and Operator. Yeah, actually, and the Roland SH101 is really nice. I should get this Roland Cloud, man. I heard a lot of good things about it.
But there's also a really nice clone in the Sudboom bass, the SH01.
Yeah.
Which actually, if you tweak the second oscillator as well, put it to maybe a sine wave or a half sine, which is also really nice.
Yeah, I like the SH. There's a few SH101 kind of versions in the Sudboom bass. I have them all like favorite because there's a few different ones. I like those. Yeah. Man, it's so nice to talk presets,
Yeah. It's so good because if you change the waveform of one of the oscillators, it sounds completely different. So nobody will know.
Yeah, exactly. You can it's always good to tweak it a bit to taste. Lots of this stuff is taste. Wow, somebody says check Albino. I haven't used that synth for 12 years. The Albino. That's a long time ago. Was it also like UAE?
No.
The Zebra and the Albino. I think it was also UAE. The Albino is very old.
Zebra was I used to use that as well. It's also a really nice synth actually.
Yeah, man. The Zebra was great, and it's pretty huge actually. Also, they had this XY kind of controllers. Remember, you can assign that to. It's great. That was classic. But the Albino, man, I forgot it existed. That's funny. Yeah. All right. So I'm getting you
a lot of plugins to check out again.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting you all out of your flow of the track.
No worries.
That's what the show's about.
It's nice to nerd about plugins.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
Yeah.
More to put on the channels. More processing.
More synth. Yeah. But the bass sounds really nice. Though.
I can remember I used to always have on every group. I have the Neutron. As I said, this is quite an old project. But on every group, so like the snare group and the bass group and the hi-hat group, I have the Neutron 3. And you have this option, which is a mix assistant.
Yeah.
And whenever you just press it, it will listen to the mix and it will do suggestions. So you know what? Let's just get it on the snares. Let's do it again. Boom. So just the claps in the snare group, a mix assistant, and then you do track enhance. and
Yeah.
it will give you some ridiculously heavy processing that
Yeah.
you definitely don't want.
Yeah, I have the same bundle. I've tried this as well, but I was always like, yeah, you know, it's a
But there are some good here. They put a sculpture on it, like, okay, no, let's get rid of it. We have an equalizer. Well, it always somehow boosts. I think it's around 200, 270. Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want the highs. But I don't use it in my template anymore. Also not the exciter, but some slight compression as a group compressor,
yeah,
and sometimes soft saturation on the equalizer does work.
yeah.
And especially what's nice is when you have the kick here. This is the old neutron. Let's see if I still have it. It's isotope, right? Neutron 3. Let's put this on here, which used to help a lot. You have, okay, so this is the neutron for the kick. And then you have the bass. And on that group is also a neutron. I also need to get the neutron on there. So on the left we have the kick, and on the right we have the bass, and then you can turn on the masking.
Oh,
You can,
wow.
if you put on the masking, so here we have the bass, we can actually get rid of the kick neutron. This is just on the groups. You can see where there are problem frequencies, where the frequencies between your kick and your bass are clashing, and which is a really helpful tool. This isn't too bad, because whenever there's a real problem, it will give like this exclamation mark above it, like,
Yeah.
okay, you need to check these frequencies out. And then you can just, most of the time, just in the bass, just cut it to give your kick some space.
And will the exclamation mark then disappear once you fix it?
Yeah, it does.
That's
Let's
so
see if
nice.
we can get it to. Well, probably not. Probably we need to
Yeah.
get into the bass.
Yeah.
Oh, here it gives on
Oh, yeah.
top. It gives this small
Like-
red thing.
like, hey,
Maybe it was
man.
in another version. It was exclamation mark.
Yeah, because the Fett filter has the same functionality, but doesn't give like it just turns red, and it doesn't say like when it's red when you really need to fix it. So you're still like having a visual aid, but not sure if you should act upon it. But this is nice.
Oh.
Nice. I didn't know this.
If you have problems with your kick and your bass, this is definitely something to recommend.
Yeah.
And just see where they clash.
Nice.
Let's see. Well, the claps, I don't even think I have snares in this one. It's just really straightforward claps. Also, the whole hi-hats. It's I think it's in the 16D swing again, 1/16D. It's just some heads, some live break beat kind of loops. And let's see, what else do we got? I think some open hi-hats here, which are pretty thin actually.
You
Another
got two of
top
the same
here, I
heads
see.
layered. Is that heads 3? Is that the same ones?
Sorry?
Or do you have those heads? There's like these upbeat heads. So the head on the 8th note. Are these the same or two different? Yeah, it's two different ones, I think, just layered on top of each other. Like
This one. Or-
no, the two below that one.
Oh, it's just the open head, I think.
So like
These two then.
These two, yeah, these guys, yeah.
It's one,
One longer one and the shorter one.
yeah, and also one is bent to the left, and one longer one is bent to the right,
Ah, cool. Yeah, I have
This-
mono, so yeah.
just to give it some more stereo image.
Cool.
I actually pretty heavily EQ'd this, which isn't necessary at all. I wouldn't do that the same now, but oh well. So yeah, and just some other loops. It's a lot of heads in this one, but I can remember this. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, I think.
It grooves
It's
nicely, you know. It's really cool to
Yeah.
see the dissect.
works.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then we have the noise, the white noise again in the first. It's the same sample that I used before. Some ambience. I love a lot of ambience in my tracks. This one is just people talking.
Cool. Yeah, it's good to have something like this, very soft, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's either one of those ambience tracks or one of the groove loops from Daamen, and then just put it in your. I will put it in my own groove template, my groove pool a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think this is also, well, it's really simple. It's really small as well.
Yeah, it's
And
little
I
details.
also put my crash, I think here. Yeah, it's just a symbol, nothing special. And then we are already at the synths. So I put my vocal in the synth group as well. It's a vocal sample from Baba Ali, Not Loving You.
Cool.
I don't know the complete track, but oh well.
So cool to use this. Yeah.
Yeah, these are the main synths, I think. So I put I put on this first one, I put the step FX again, like this step sequencer from Logic.
Yeah.
I used it in the original track, but I did bounce it to do all the processing on a new stem. So it's just, that's why this one is muted, and it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Again, it's a lot of high end. So also the high end transient limiter, which is great. Put some more reverb on it, I think. Yeah, Valhalla Vintage. And then we have some kind of weird rim shot thingy, which I pitched down, I think. It's sound shifting. Oh, up.
I love this sound shifter, man. It's the waves one, no? Or is it? Yeah.
Of course, it's the wave one. Again,
they used to use this.
I do think if you pitch it down a lot, that it kind of puts a delay on your track as well, or on the sample that you pitch.
Yeah. It was very used in the deep house era, where all the techno vocals pitched down so low. You know, remember that song? Like, I think this was the guy.
Yeah. I do feel like I don't use it that much anymore. I just use the transpose in Logic to build in. You can just put in like -1 or whatever you want. And then it doesn't get the delay on the sample, which is nice. So it will stay in groove.
Yeah. Question. What synths do you use, or you always use Logic stock?
What synths?
Yeah.
No, I use the DX7 quite a lot. And I use the retro synth stock from Logic, which is in Logic, the new Logic version. You have the retro synth, and it's actually pretty powerful. It's good. What else do I use? I'm really a sample-based producer, so as you can see as well, there's not many MIDI in here. In my recent tracks, there's a bit more MIDI. I use more synths myself, but I used to just cut up all the samples. And for example, here you have, so go ahead.
Yeah, no. You go.
This is the main synth, and this is from a top loop here, I think. Let's see. This was the original one, and I bounced it as well. Let's see what this was. Yeah. It's really not that. It was already quite the same.
Nice.
I just filtered it and got it.
Yeah,
kind of a tantra effect on it, then with the step FX. That's it. Super cool. For synths, I tend to use a lot of the audio of the samples and the DX7, and also recently I start using the quick sampler a lot more. So get in the sample and bash on the keyboard. To you can like play your own, it's sort of like melody with them. Interesting, man. Hey, and just Ben Lloyd asked a question: do you ever listen to reference track to get ideas to start a track off, or do you use other tracks for arrangement ideas? Maybe how do you get inspired to build what kind of track? Definitely, I always I think every idea will come from probably another track or sample that you hear. I'm really inspired by Silver Lining, the producer. I really like his like straightforward housey stuff, like old school sounding. So I definitely also with my heads, I try to recreate this kind of same saturated vibe,
Yeah.
also with the swing heads, which is nice.
Yeah.
And I for the arrangement, I do use a reference track often. Lately, not anymore, but I do think for this one, I kind of use the reference track,
Yeah.
which can and for the also for an EQ copy, I use a lot of reference tracks, but a lot of different ones. Also Michael James, Daamen,
Yeah.
really like, and Stassi, for example.
Yeah.
Just see if there are really outliers in the waveform.
Yeah, yeah, to get it sort of like, okay, get the low mids and the high mids and the lows all right, or
Yeah,
get it closer to what it should be. It's nice to do this matching EQ. You can also do it with the Fab filter. I've tried it recently, but
yeah.
couldn't get it work. It was too extreme. I have to find the less extreme button on the Fab filter.
You can. There's a dry and wet button on the Fab filters ones, right?
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I couldn't really find it. It was like super extreme, and then I couldn't really I didn't know how to like. So I have to like do some tutorial stuff with it. But I was just like experimenting with it, and I think it's nice to put this on your master and see, okay, where am I? And maybe you can make the adjustments later in your mix yourself. I also like the tonal balance from Isotope a lot, which is really nice to use.
I never use that. I actually tried to get rid of it off my computer because I never use it. But is it nice?
Yeah, you can also load in a whole folder of reference tracks, and it will get sort of like the
median,
the average. Yeah. I was also thinking median, but the average of we're such Dutch guys. The average of all the tonal balance. Yeah, that's nice. Cool, man.
Yeah.
It's nice to see.
So I just think there are some more pads in there.
Oh yeah.
Which is just a certain sample, but which is nice. Also, if you want your pads to sound a bit less loopy, if you put a step sequencer, which can be obviously the Logic one or a Tantra on it, and you can also layer it with the same pad, but then pitched up an octave. And then just get the bright overtones of it and slightly mix that in as well with for example, a meta phaser, something that kind of works. It's also nice.
Yeah, to give it some movement. Yeah,
exactly. Let's see, because I think that's almost all there is to it. Just
nice. I like those
reverse
swells.
chords.
I like those.
Yeah.
Those swells. They're great. Yeah.
And just one more pad. But this there's also not much to it.
Yeah, well, well done, my friend. I really enjoyed this, and it's such a nice chat as well. Ben Lloyd, to sort of like final thing, he says, I find the adapter AB is great for reference on the master. Ooh, triggers me. Yeah. I bought the adapter AB on Plugin Alliance, and I got into a big fight with these guys and ended up canceling my subscription because they told me, if it doesn't work in your system, we have some problems with some computers. We can always give a refund. And then the refund apparently was like 80 cents. I said, but why 80 cents? Yeah, because you used your voucher. I said, yeah, but the voucher has a value, and I paid like $40 for this thing. So either you give me that and I buy a different plugin, but you're not going to tell me. Then, but you can sell your license to somebody else. I said, well, why would I sell a license from a product that I buy from you that doesn't work, right? For a voucher that I got from you guys. And, and then I get a refund of 80 cents. This is ridiculous. So we got into a big fight, and he got so rude. He's like, no, I told you what's possible and what's not possible. This is it. I said, well, you know what? Fuck you guys. So, guys, Plugin Alliance, don't do it. Go to Slate. Go to Plugin. What's it? The other one? Plugin Boutique, but not Plugin Alliance.
Well, that was clear.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. It got me angry, man. I was so... but yeah, anyway, I think I'm going to go UAD anyway.
Let it go.
Yeah, definitely. But to be honest, the adapter AB is great for reference. You can reference only the low end or only the mid-range or only the high end, which is great. I know you will love it, Robin.
Yeah? Okay, good.
But don't get it. Really I hate those guys.
Out into it. Get into the detail.
Cool. All right. So let's do the last one that we have, which is Faro. How did that came about?
That came about when I went to Portugal, to Faro, and I really wanted to make some more deep sounding basses. You know, a lot of the tracks are really SH 101 kind of basses,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted something more subby and yeah, something more rolling. So I made this. I sent it to Toman. He played it in the trommel mix as well, and I got some nice
Cool.
response on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how it came about.
Nice. And is there already a plan that you can reveal or not?
There is a plan. It's at a it's on option on one of my favorite labels, which Andrew released a couple of times on. But yeah, nothing confirmed yet.
Cool.
So but I hope it will be soon.
Nice.
So
I hope
yeah.
so too. Let's have a listen, and we'll be back in a sec. Yes, nice. So this is unreleased, but it might be released on a really nice label. I'm really looking forward to hearing more about this. And Ari is online. Hey, Ari. Yeah,
Ari.
yeah. I just telling that Ari put me up to you. He told me about you when you were neighbors, right? He was making music. Yeah. So yeah.
Ari the neighbor. Yeah,
Ari
we had
the
a nice
neighbor.
chat as well.
Yeah, yeah. Ari, man, we're working on lots of new music. I'm gonna send you some stuff. It's nice. Ari is back. It's good.
He's back on the grind.
Yeah, man. So yeah, thank you for hanging out. It's been such a pleasure. I think we can like we said in the break, we can just talk really well together. So we need to hang out.
It's really nice to talk to you as well. We can really nerd out on all the small things. Which is good.
Yeah, man. It's I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot, wrote down a lot of stuff. And
Nice.
can't wait to test out some of these. I'm gonna get the codecs back up. It's been a really
Do.
good reminder, and the Neutron I should use a bit more. So I hope you all had similar experience, and follow Robin and his label, and just support the cause. Next week I have Jem back on the show, which is nice, and he's gonna show some projects. He lost actually, so therefore I said to you, like, it's funny that you still have your projects, because like Joko didn't have lots of old projects, and people tend to not like have their projects around. So it's funny to see that you still have the ones from 2 years back, which is nice.
It was literally the last one. Like before that, I lost
Oh yeah,
everything.
yeah. So that's how
So
it goes. Yeah, yeah. And
yeah,
also sometimes when they update plugins, you lose. So you have the same plugin installed, but it can't find it for some reason, which is
yeah.
really weird. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, buddy. Thank you so much, and
Thank you.
everybody that tuned in. Thanks again. We're getting more and more every week, so it's nice. You guys are tuning in. I hope it helps. Make lots of music, enjoy the process, just have fun. That's the most important thing. And if you have doubts about something, try it out, try the other thing out, and then you might find what you really like and make better music. Keep it going. Send your demos to Robin or send it to Freeborn,
Yes.
because I recently started a label. So let's keep it going, guys. See you guys next week.